Today I'm going to go over my 5 essential collections for Evercade beginners. Yeah! So what does that mean? That means if you've recently purchased a EXP or a VS or thinking about getting one, here are my 5 collections that I think are essential that everybody should have when you start off into the Evercade ecosystem. Roll that intro! Whoa! There's a big ocean behind me! Woo!
I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade Effect.
Evercade Effect.
Welcome to Evercadians and retro enthusiasts. You are watching the Evercade Effect, and I am Retro Dean. All right, so we're gonna jump in to the 5 essential collections, for Evercade beginners. And of course, if you're not a beginner, I think you'll enjoy in seeing, what I'm picking here and what you might want to recommend, to your friends who are interested in getting an Evercade. All right, so let's start off, with number 5, and that's the Indie Heroes Collection 1. Yeah! So keep in mind that at the time I'm recording this video, I'm only talking about the carts that are actually out, and so Indie Heroes 2 isn't out yet. But Indie Heroes 1 collection, you really can't go wrong with that. I mean, yes, some games are simple, other games are just a lot of fun. And I think if you're new to Evercade, I think it's a great way for you just to dive in, explore all the games. There's so much discovery. It's a pretty solid collection. Yeah, not everyone is gonna like every game, but it's really going to give you a good idea of discovery and being able to kind of dive in and see those gems. At the end of the day, you're not going to be disappointed. Yes, Quest Arrest is a lot shorter of a game than I would have liked, but hey, that's what happens when you have indie games. I think this is a great assortment. All right, so now coming in at number 4. So from here it gets really, really tough, right? I knew I was going to include Indie Heroes somewhere, and I wanted to include an arcade collection. And there's so many great arcade collections, but what I think might surprise you, my number 4 pick is going to be the Galco Arcade Collection 1. Why did I pick that? And so the Jalco Collection, Data East, because this one, there are so many great games on here that not many people have played. It's kind of like the Pico of arcade games, if you will. And funny because Pico owns, they at least they own the rights to the Galco Arcade Collection. I personally like the first one, I think, better than the second one. Maybe some games in the second one I like better, but just like Glass. that is just a weird, kind of crazy, chill back game. And there's several other games on this collection that are like that I want you to go ahead and explore. I'm not gonna spoil it, that's why I'm not mentioning, some of those specific games, but they're just really great and just, really fun. And I think you need to have an arcade collection that's like that. I mean, technically, really, you can't go wrong by picking most of the arcade collections, but I think you'd have more fun with this one than like an Atari. I mean, yes, Technos is solid, Data East, all the other ones I mentioned are solid, but I think this is a good starting point to kind of dive in there and see what Evercade is about. All right, so my number 3. So here, I'm actually gonna cheat. I picked 2 collections because they go hand in hand. So I had to put in here the Namco Museum Collections 1 and 2. I love Namco. This is very nostalgic for me. This is one of those collections when I first got into the Evercade, I was like, sure, they're the console ports, but it was just super nostalgic for me. So they both definitely go in here. So one of the reasons is that, why you need to jump on this is that they're out of print. They aren't making anymore. Yes, they're still out there. You can still find them in the wild. From some places that still have stock, secondhand market on Amazon, maybe even eBay, but at some point, it's going to be all said and done, and you're not going to be able to get them anymore. Yes, you can't play them on the Evercade VS as of the recording of this video, but you can play them on the OG handhelds. But for me, the Pac-Mans, the Dig Dugs, the Galagas, you have your Splatterhouses, so many great games, got some good shooters on there. And so for me, this is very nostalgic, unless you just don't like Namco. No, seriously. I think most people do like Namco or are nostalgic for it. For me, this is an essential collection. I totally love this. Go ahead and just grab them both, even if you could only get one of them. But yeah, I couldn't decide which one that I wanted. So you really need to get it. Okay. Moving on to number 2 and number 1. This may or may not surprise you. All right. My number 2 pick is definitely going to be the Renovation Collection 1. this is, basically your third-party Sega Genesis collection. There are so many great games on it, so many great shooters. It's just fantastic, and some other games that you probably haven't played, as much. Yeah, the RPGs aren't as good in my opinion compared to the next collection I'm going to talk about, which I may have just given away. But this is good. There's not only a wide variety of games. There's definitely good games here, unless you just don't like shooters. But I think I think most people do. But that's why we have indie heroes in here. Got your platformers covered. I think this is an essential collection. One of my most anticipated ones that I've been looking forward to. Definitely not regret it. All right, so number 1, this collection has stood the test of time, and that's Pico Interactive Collection 1. Oh, this was so tough. Renovation almost beat it out. Namco with nostalgia, but this, you get a ton. Not only do you think you have like 20 games. Yes, there's some bad. A lot of them are good, but here's the thing. This collection, and definitely the Renovation collection, is all about discovery. You will truly see what the Evercade is about for discovery. This one you will really see what the Evercade is about with those unknown games. Water Margin is still one of my favorite beat 'em ups. Just in general, I think one of the best beat 'em ups on the Evercade of all the collections that we have out now. Plus you get several RPGs, you get some crazy platformers, you get loads of good things. This will probably be the one that if you're getting like the EXP, you're gonna leave it in there. It's gonna be your portable collection. You're gonna keep it with you. That with the Capcom you're set. So yeah, those are my 5 collections that I just had to recommend if you're starting out. I think they're essential for any Evercade owner. And if you are new to the channel and you just discovered me here, please like, subscribe, and comment. It really, really, really helps me out. Spread the word around. And if you would also go ahead and comment below, what are your 5 essentials? Would you recommend these 5 collections for beginners? Was there a crucial collection that maybe I left out? Is there one that you'd swap out with another collection? Do you totally disagree on something? And you're like, Kill Dash, you're full of BS. This one should have been here, that one shouldn't. Cool. Let's get a conversation going. And if you look around me here, check out some other videos and check out my second channel with me and Retro Rich on Calling All Retro Gamers. Yeah, just click on the Super Nintendo controller. You know what to do. We do a live podcast. It's fantastic. And as always, thank you so much, community. Bye-bye.